Learning objectives. After studying this learning module, you will be able to explain the meaning of business environment, discuss the importance of business environment, describe the various elements of business environment, examine the economic environment in India, and analyze the impact of government policies on businesses and industry. Business environment, nature and significance. Business environment. Business environment is the total of all external forces, factors and institutions that are beyond the control of the business. All these factors have a direct influence on the business functions. Features of business environment. Totality of external forces. Business environment is sum total of all the external factors which are directly, indirectly affecting the performance and existence of an organization. Specific and general forces. Business environment includes both specific and general forces. Specific forces includes investors, customers, competitors and suppliers. These factors affect individual enterprises directly and immediately in their day-to-day working. Interrelatedness. Each part of business environment are related to one another. For example, increased life expectancy of people, health awareness programs have multiplied the demand for health-related products and services. Dynamic nature. Dynamism is one of the most important features of business environment. It keeps on changing in terms of technological terms, consumer preferences, competition, and so on. Uncertainty. Business environment is uncertain and it is very difficult to predict the future. It is more difficult especially when environment changes are taking place too frequently. This is very true in the case of information technology or fashion industries. Complexity. Business environment is interconnected and keeps its dynamism always. This dynamism can arise from different sources and conditions which creates complexity in business environment. It is difficult to predict exactly the future and to deal with changing situations. Relativity. Business environment is a relative concept. The environment differ from region to region, country to country, and even place to place. Importance of business environment. Importance of business environment. As in the case of human beings, business enterprise also do not exist independently. The success, growth, or even the existence of a business is dependent on its environment. The importance of business environment and can be disused from following facts. It enables the firm to identify opportunities. Opportunities are the positive signals and trends from outside the organization and will help to improve the organizational performance. Environment provides numerous opportunities for business success. It helps the firm to identify threats. Threats are the negative signs and symbols outside the organizations and can have a negative impact on its performance. There can be many threats to the organization in the form of competition, government policies, and so. It helps in tapping useful resources. Environment is a source of various resources for running a business. Helpful analysis of business environment helps the firm to tap these resources effectively. These can be in the form of finance, machines, raw materials, power and water, labor, etc. It helps in coping with rapid changes. The environment is dynamic and the changes are taking place rapidly. It is very important to have a bird's eye on these changes. It is not the fact of change itself that is as important as the pace of change. It helps in assisting in planning and policy formulation. Business environment is a source of both opportunities and threats for a business enterprise. Hence, its understanding and analysis can be the basis for deciding the future course of action and policy formulation. It helps in improving performance. One of the most important reasons for understanding business environment is that to understand its effect on the business and difference it makes in the performance of an enterprise. Dimensions of business environment. Dimensions of business environment. Business environment is constituted by different factors and includes economic, social, technological, political, and legal conditions. These factors are considered relevant for decision-making and improving the performance of an enterprise. Economic environment. There are different factors like interest rates, inflation rates, changes in disposable income of people, stock market indices, and the value of rupee are involved in economic factors that can affect management practices in a business enterprise. Social environment. Social environment of business include different social forces like customs and traditions, social values, trends, customers' expectations from business, etc. For example, the festivals like Diwali, Eid, Christmas, etc. in India provides significant financial opportunities for greetings card companies, sweets, traditional wares, etc. Technological environment. Technology is always keeps on changing and innovations can take place at any time. Innovations provide new ways of producing goods and services and new methods and techniques of operating a business. For example, recent technological advances in computers and electronics have modified the ways in which companies advertise their products. Political environment. Political environment includes political conditions such as general stability and peace in the country and specific attitudes that elected government representatives hold towards business. Legal environment. Legal environment is constituted by various legislations passed by the government, administrative orders issued by government authorities, court judgments and decisions made by various appointed agencies and authorities. Legal environment can have a direct impact on the business as it is directed by the government and other regulatory organizations. Economic environment in India. The economic environment in India is directed by the various macro and micro level factors. These factors have a direct impact on the business and industry. During the time of independence, India had an agriculture-based economy and village-oriented population. The 5-year plans gave much importance to the agriculture and public sector enterprises. However, in 1991, India faced a drastic economic change due to the changes in Indian economic structure. As a part of economic reforms, the Government of India announced a new industrial policy in July 1991. The main focus of the policy can be discussed under 3 heads. Liberalization. Liberalization is a resultant product of economic reforms that were introduced during 1991 period. These were aimed at liberalizing the Indian business and industry from all unnecessary controls and restrictions. Privatization. Privatization aimed at giving greater role to the private sector in the nation-building process and a reduced role to the public sector. This gives more freedom to the private sector and more government-controlled business areas are made open to the private sector enterprises. Globalization. Globalization means the integration of various world economies under one roof. Till 1991, The government of India had followed a policy of strictly regulating imports in value and volume terms. These regulations were with respect to licensing of imports, tariff restrictions, and quantitative restrictions. Impact of government policy changes. Impact of government policy changes. The new economic policy in 1991 has made a significant impact on the working of enterprises in business and industry. The important among them are discussed here. Increasing competition. The changes made by the government in the industrial licensing and entry of foreign firms has increased competition for Indian firms. It has major impact on industries like telecommunications, airlines, banking, insurance, etc., which were earlier in the public sector. More demanding customers. Today's customers have become more educated and more demanding. They are well informed about the market trends and changes. Increased competition in the market gives the customer wider choice in purchasing better quality products. Rapidly changing technological environment. New developments have paved the way for technological developments and made it possible to improve machines, process, products and services. Bigger firms can have more adaptability to the rapid changes in technology, but the small ones may become the prey. Necessity for change. Before 1991, the business environment has become more regulated and the firms could have relatively stable policies and practices. Later, the market forces have become turbulent, as a result of which the enterprises have to continuously modify their operations. Need for developing human resource. Inadequately trained personnel and the shortage of qualified manpower is a major issue in Indian market. The new market conditions require people with higher competence and which improves the need for developing human resources. Orientation. Where there is limited completion, firms used to produce first and go to the market for sale later. But the policy changed this scene and more focus is given to the market. Loss of budgetary support to the public sector. The central government's budgetary support for financing the public sector outlays has been declined over the years. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned in this module. The term business environment means the totality of all individuals, institutions, and other forces that are outside a business but that potentially affect its performance. Business environment and its understanding are important for enabling the identification of opportunities and getting the first mover advantage, helping in the identification of threats and early warning signals, coping with the rapid changes, assisting in planning and policy, and improving the performance. Business environment consists of 5 important dimensions including economic, social, technological, political, and legal. Economic environment includes such factors as interest rates, inflation rates, changes in disposable income of people, stock market indexes, and the value of rupee. Social environment includes social forces like traditions, values, social trends, society's expectations of business, and so on. Technological environment includes forces relating to scientific improvements and innovations, which provide new ways of producing goods and services and new methods and techniques of operating a business. Political environment includes political conditions such as general stability and peace in the country and specific attitudes that elected government representatives hold toward business. Legal environment includes various legalizations passed by the government, administrative orders issued by government authorities, court judgments, as well as decisions rendered by various commissions and agencies. Economic environment in India. In 1991, Indian economy happened to face serious foreign exchange crisis, high government deficit and a rising trend of prices despite bumper crops. This economic reform led India to have three major economic changes and may be summarized as liberalization, privatization and globalization.